Hi and welcome to the Romantic Skein. My name is Jolanda and I am from the Netherlands. I hope you will enjoy it here, and if you're returning, thank you so very much. I am a crafty person and I love creating beautiful things, so I hope you will join me today. What I'm wearing is the Cristallo top from Knitting for Breakfast, but I made some modifications and I will talk about that in a little bit. I'm also still wearing my hand sewn pants, um, which is a linen pants. I love wearing it. So it has been a while since we saw each other, and I have just been busy with all kinds of things, but not that much of knitting. I was kind of lost my knitting mojo, and it felt very, very sad and empty. And thankfully, I found it back. I had a feeling that everything I created didn't fit me right. I was unhappy with the look and everything else. So I was very demotivated to start anything or finish anything. But in the end, I unraveled a top and I reknitted it. So I have some footage for you here and some thoughts about unraveling and repurposing the yarn. As today I am unraveling this project, I think about many things. I remember I knitted it at a point in my life. It was more a coping mechanism than a true relaxing knit. It was a test knit. At that time, I did every test knit I could find that only slightly looked like something I would enjoy. I remember it was a test knit for Annie Lupton. It was a knit tunic with lace. Later it was named the Boho Romance Tunic by Annie Lupton. I can still, at this point, see why I was drawn to this design. Now I have an understanding of my own proportions and what looks good on me. And this definitely is not it. I was drawn to the ruffled lace edging. I like flowing lines. I like a little bit of lace. I'm not so much fond of straight line and geometric shapes. So I could just choose to donate this tunic. Somebody else might enjoy it, and there's no problem in doing that. I know I like this yarn. It is drop spell, and one of my favorite shirts is made out of this same yarn, but just a different colorway. Now this is not the most expensive yarn, but the reason I chose to unravel this is because this colorway no longer exists. And since this is a tunic length, I can easily make a top out of it like I did earlier. The other project made of drop spell was the ranunculus. I made short sleeved. I left the yoke intact, which is such a beautiful textured yoke, and I kept the length at a suitable point for me. So no, this project never was a failure. I enjoyed knitting it, and now, so many years later, 6 years later actually, I understand why I never wore it. It was never a fault of the pattern, it was not fault of the knitter, it was just a lack of knowledge. I'm very pleased now that I can understand that this color actually suits me. It makes me happy because I like purples and plums. I also like dusty roses and sage green. I have looked at my wardrobe and what is missing, and I think a top or a tee in this color would be something I would really enjoy. So I have been looking at many patterns, and since this yarn has a little bit of a texture, it's not a complete smooth yarn. So I am thinking of making it in a very simple tee. The tee is a pattern from the Knits that I already own, the arpeggio top. It's an extremely simple pattern, but I think it is very versatile. If I can, and I will try to adapt the neckline a little bit, make it a little bit rounder and a little bit more of a scoop neck. I completely love the fit and the look of the satin sleeve that this pattern provides. Now I will need some comfortable positive ease, nothing boxy, nothing extreme roomy, but just not clinging, just softly flowing over my body. The sleeves are probably going to be a little bit longer, just because that looks better and it also makes me feel a little bit more comfortable at my age. But that's just a personal thing. So as I unravel this, I see how much value this top had. In the past, it was coping with a difficult time, keeping my hands busy, knitting up yarn, and testing a pattern for a designer. Unfortunately, it was never meant to be. It was never worn, but it was often looked at. So now I'll take the time to unravel this top. I will reuse the yarn, and with the knowledge I have right now, I hope and I think this will become something I will wear way more often. Maybe it will become one of my favorites. So in the end, I made this beautiful top with repurposed yarn. It is the arpeggio from Zanet Knits. I talked about it last time, how the atmosphere of a picture is really capturing my attention and not as much the overall construction of the garment. So I'd like to try to change that. What I did to make it a little bit more me is the little bubbles around the neckline and the sleeves. And if I have to say, I tried it on at least 10 times and I never used to do that. It was like maybe try it on once and maybe twice and then hope for the best because I hate trying on. But I am following advice from my AI program. And that says knit a few centimeters and try it back on. It's like, oh, not again. But it turned out much, much better than when I just hope for the best. And of course, we all know that. But knowing and doing are two different things. So what I found out with this pattern, I love the set-in sleeves. I absolutely love how it looks. This particular top is for me a little bit too much positive ease, but it's just my personal preference because it's definitely not oversized. I will definitely put in some footage for you here, maybe the trying on and everything else. And it is way more shorter than I ever could imagine would look good on me. But I have so much comparison now that yeah, it is just a matter of 2 or 3 centimeters that will look completely different. And that I can talk about a little bit about this top. I have some footage for you here also on how it looks originally. And I cannot remember wearing it that much. I know I finished it 2 years ago. I love the lace yoke. I added the little picot edging myself. That was not part of the pattern, but that big bottom edging just made me look so wide. It's crazy, and was only like 8 centimeters or something. Probably not even, but it looks like it was an enormous amount of fabric that it was just accentuating my widest point. So I learned so much. I still learn so much by putting in my photograph of a garment that makes me unhappy and I don't like wearing, but I could never figure out why. So then, together with the AI program, I unravel what is it what I see that I don't like. Is it the fabric? Um, is it the length? Is it the horizontal details? So yeah, by learning a lot, and I am so excited about learning a lot, I also have the feeling of a little bit of um, sadness, because now I suddenly see all the things I wish I'd have saw a long time ago. But hey, that's the part. That's about learning. And then I get the overwhelming feeling I want to get rid of everything that is not me, that is not completely right. That's absurd. And then I have to get through that point, and then I can say, okay, I don't have to replace everything. I don't have to modify everything. I can just focus on the things I want to wear. So the idea was I would unravel this top completely and reknitted it in a different design, because this is drop spell, just like the arpeggio. It's also drop spell, and I love wearing it. I also have a ranunculus in drop spell. I have worn a lot. So then I grabbed this top and I wanted to unravel it, and I thought, let's just try it on one more time, take a photograph, and let's just analyze what the problem is. So then I could already see it myself. Okay, this is way too long, and the bottom is just making me so much, visually so much bigger. And I tried to avoid it, of course. So then I just thought, let's just make it a bit shorter and see what happens. And I always thought wide ribbings were nice and cool and cinched in, and then makes the whole thing blouse a bit, but it's just the opposite of what looks visually good on me. So that was a lot of learning experience, but also it meant I only had to rip back a little bit of this and added a very small ribbing that does not cinch in but goes more straight. And yeah, it makes a whole lot of difference. What I still find a bit annoying is the neckline is beautiful. I love it, but it always is sliding off a bit. So I might want to do something about it, or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. But that is something to consider when I'm going to make something new on a custom, something different. So yeah, there was a lot of learning experience, and that takes up a lot of time also, because I can talk about it for hours and hours and analyze every little photograph I have, which gives me a lot of information. And then sometimes I got so much information that I do not know for sure where I want to put it all. And that is also with podcasting. I have so much in my head and I don't know where to start. But I thought today, let's start slowly. I also finished my table runner, finally, because it was almost finished. But then I put it on my table and I enjoyed it so much that I never finished it. So it needed 15 more centimeters and an edging. So I have a little bit of footage for you here, so you can enjoy that. And maybe I want to talk about a big thing right now. I still have two projects you saw last time, and I'm still working on it. I will definitely show it to you. But something big happened because the dragonfly sweater was very unsatisfying to me, and that was one of the projects I could not put my finger on why it turned out so differently than I had in my head. So I had a reference photograph, the original from Eleanor Mortensen, which did not really spark me. It was a beautiful sweater, but there was one of the test knitters that completely blew my mind, and that was the picture that made me think, I need to have this. I need to have this. So now when I look at the picture, I can understand what drew my attention. It was the softness of the yarn. It was the softness of the color. It was the overall vibe that feels really me. And then I thought, all right, I have I have Holst garn, um, super soft, and I will find the right colors and it will all come together. But it didn't, because Holst garn gives a completely different feeling, a completely different vibe than the inspirational picture I fell in love with. So I call it my butterfly moments because I actually make a butterfly folder on my phone where I put all my inspiration, what gives me the butterflies. And that is, if I start talking about something, about colors or a combination of clothes, I feel those butterflies. And that's what I need to get really excited and want to finish something. In the past, I would definitely have finished the sweater just as it was, keep just powering on, and then it would end up somewhere because it was not what I envisioned. And yeah, that's a great thing to discover, but also a hard thing to discover because suddenly you want to modify every pattern you see. Because I can see something and then it's not what I exactly want, but some of it I like, and then I start looking for a pattern that is exactly me and I can't find it and I get frustrated, and yeah, then it all stops. But now I can take pieces of a pattern. So a lot of rambling, and I will show you also some photographs of me wearing that beautiful top that is, the whole body was finished, and I finished the sleeve. I ripped back the sleeve because the sleeve was too wide. I also know that I have a big body, and if I have wide sleeves, I look even bigger. So that doesn't work for me. I need a little bit more slimmer sleeves and a little bit of waist shaping. So you can see in this photograph, hopefully, that the body is very straight. I had to take a bigger size because I have broad shoulders. My shoulders are, in comparison to my hips, quite, um, how do you say that? Well, they fit together. I just suddenly lost the word. But my chest is quite small. So if I make something that fits my shoulders and my hips, I look like a box. So I want to prevent that. So now we have to decrease a bit for the top and then increase a bit for the hips. But in the picture you can see there is no waist shaping, so I look quite straight, and I don't think that is very flattering on me. Also, I have discovered I hate horizontal lines. So this sweater has tiny little horizontal lines, the white ones, and then also the flower line. And now I can see why I don't like it. Because I hate that. I just hate that on me. I should say on me. Because this is my personal preference. So then I said, okay, let's remove everything that's horizontal and it's bothering me. And let's just focus on the beautiful yoke. What will my sweater look like if we remove all that? Keep the beautiful yoke, no horizontal lines, just straight body, straight sleeves, and those little picot edgings like a folded edge with the little picots on the bottom and on the sleeves. And then there comes out a picture and I think, yes, that's going to be it. That is going to be it. That is for something I will wear. I love looking at it. It looks me. And I have fabric and I have a a fabric I want to sew that will fit with it. I have a skirt that will fit with it. And suddenly I felt, this is it. And then I just unravel it. So this is where we are now. And now I'm not sad about it because I know where I'm going to. And that's such a big difference. There was still something on the sleeve, a little line, a white line. You probably can see it on the picture, but I actually removed it. It was a 1 by 1 texture, one white and one purple. So I very carefully unpicked one stitch at a time and duplicate stitched it with the purple. So the white is gone, but I replaced the white for a purple stitch. So that meant I did not have to unravel the sleeve, because let's be honest, this is a 3mm needle. I don't like unraveling this, but I did because I knew the new sweater would look nothing like the original one. It will look nothing like the dream I had, but I have a new dream now, and that's where I'm going to. And I know I have a lot in my mind. I have a very full brain, head, and very little brain space because I am very motivated to work on me. So that takes a lot of brain space, and I know if I have to focus on something like a pattern, figuring out something, I can't do that right now. But this is kind of perfect because it has a short circular needle here that's kind of hard on the hands, and there is a big body that can just go round and round and round. So it's kind of perfect. It's very boring, but my head is very excited and full about thousands of things. So I really need something boring right now. So yeah, this is the Dragonfly sweater from Eleanor Mortensen, which will look like something a romantic skein would like. And this will be a completely different top, a completely overhaul, a lot of new knitting. But I am again very excited, as excited as I was before, but now I'm more positive it will turn out exactly as I want it to. So I have a little diary. I write down a lot of things right now, and it is about knitting and things I need to consider. Because when I was knitting the Apache top, something looked off for me. I could not imagine my arm size was that shallow, and I really wanted to give up. That is, I see something wrong, I want to give up, and I just want to unravel it and make something different. And now I have learned, okay, you need to do step by step. You got to measure, you got to try on again, do a little bit further, try on again, and then you can see, all right, this is going to be it. It still sometimes looks like it's completely not going to work, and in the past I would have modified it, I would have made the arm depth deeper, I would have added a few centimeters, and when I finish the top I think, I should not have done that. So now I have a little bit of confirmation that I need to try on, try on, try on, try on, and then see again and make a new decision. So yes, there is a lot of learning, a little bit reprogramming my brain to do differently than I was used to, because I have been knitting for so long, and now I constantly have the aha moments. It's like, why didn't I see that before? Why couldn't I figure it out? But it's quite different because I had courses like Fit to Flatter from Amy Herzog, and it's beautiful examples of pear shapes, apple shapes, triangles, but I don't fit in there because wide shoulders, wide hips, but smaller bust. And I just could not figure it out. And you try and you fail and you try and you fail. Sometimes you're lucky and you're like, oh, I figured it out. But then you knit a different top and it all starts over because set-in sleeves, round yokes, all that has different approaches. And then at a certain point I thought, okay, I just cannot wear round yokes. I can, but I need modifications. Probably everybody needs modifications, and you start Googling. And now I have that program that specified its advice on my body shape and on my photographs and on my pictures I put in there. So I just found a master in teaching, and it's on my phone. I still find it so extremely helpful. So then I thought I had not much to share, but I do, and that's always how it goes. So this is why is it gone from my brain? I showed it last time, and it's slowly growing. I will put the name here on the screen. I tried it on last time, so if you want to see it, you can look at my latest episode before this one. And I am so close in finishing this sleeve. So this is 3mm needle, drop snort, lovely sage color, and this is, yeah, I love it. And I sometimes joke my outfits will match my interior. I will be just blending in. But yeah, this is really something I enjoy, and this is will work with peach. I think it even works with this brown, and it works with linen. It works with many things, and it will make me very happy. So a little bit more, and yeah. Also, the sleeve decreases, you can put everything in the AI program, and it will just, you say, I start with 109 and I have to go down to 60, and it says, okay, do the decreases like that. And because I'm going to modify things, I could calculate it myself, but it is way more easier like this. And keep trying it on until the first sleeve is perfect, and then you just repeat what the second sleeve says. You check the program, what did we decide, and you can even ask, you say, I can't remember, it has been too long, what can you find what we decided on the sleeve decreases? And it says, yes, that's that every sixth row, because this was a top with a short sleeve and I make long sleeves. So it's like a calculator, it's like a teacher, everything else. Yeah. So this is an unknown name to me, but a beautiful top that will be soon finished. Not a top, it will be a cardigan, but nice and thin. And I love this little lace, and I talked about it before. I love lace, but sometimes it's too much, so I have to decide to do plain sleeves. It's kind of boring and a kind of sad and frustrating that I have a lot of sleeves I need to finish, and I don't dislike knitting sleeves, but the short circular needle is always hard on my hands. That is just, it's just a fact. My cats are just cozy laying around here. Oh, just a little sip of tea. That's nice. I drink a lot of tea. I used to drink lots and lots of coffee. I needed constantly caffeine because I was so tired. And I changed my eating habits, and I'm doing great. Great, I'm way less tired. I'm still tired, like um, thinking about 1,000 things, crying, everything else makes you also very tired. But this is not a tired like I can't keep my eyes open. It's just like, okay, I'm tired, but not like I need caffeine, I need something sweet because I'm going to collapse any moment. It's completely different tired, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy. So yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of changes. And the last one, and I just actually checked my last podcast because it was a month ago, and I did not want to wait that long, but sometimes it happens. I have so many ideas. Today, this is the teapot cardigan I make out of hand spun hold together with a very fine little yarn of mohair blend yarn. So the original color is quite vibrant, um, just a stark contrast for me. So I hold this together, and it is just muting it down somewhat. And I have finished one sleeve, which is really happy. And the second one is far on the way. So after I finish the sleeves, you can see more clearly how the fit will be for the length and everything else. So it's usually handy to finish the neckline and the sleeves before finishing the body, so you can actually see how long you want it. And I was originally thinking I wanted a thigh length cardigan, but I will just finish up what I have, and that is the length it will end up be. So I already knitted on the button band, so there is no finishing, and I can just use up what I have and don't have to add anything on later. So yes, this is just on waist yarn, and I'm looking forward to wearing this, and I'm looking forward to fall and winter and all the cold weather, because we are getting a lot of heat again this week, above the 35 degrees, which is absolutely horrible, but we have to get through it. I am not enjoying the hot weather at all. My body is just wants to sleep, sleep, nothing else but sleep. That's kind of uh, the opposite of what I want to do. So I am still um, trying all kinds of crafts, but today it was mostly knitting, and I wanted to modify some things, and I hope you got inspired by um, horizontal lines, vertical lines, all that, how it visually impacts how we see we see ourselves, and yeah, what makes you comfortable and what looks nice. But it's all personal preferences. But I'm very glad I have discovered what works for me, and that's an open neckline. It might be a V-neck, but no turtlenecks. And apparently something like lace or color work that will draw the attention to the face and not to the widest part. And a top length that will end just above the widest part of your body. Um, Sleeve length, all kinds of new ideas, thoughts, and I hope I can modify some sweaters I would love to wear but are not optimal, but I will talk about it as soon as I get there. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got inspired to make something beautiful of your own. Maybe you want to modify something you already made by just adding a simple bind off instead of something fancy. And I will see you soon, hopefully. I hope you enjoyed, and happy crafting. Until next time, stay safe. Bye bye.